So I just wanted to welcome you to this first tutorial per request of one of the comments that we received for the song Promises. So without talking too much, we'll get into the song. Let's start it up here. It's in the key of A, but without further ado, let's get the tutorial started. We'll start with the intro and then go into the verses and the other parts of the song as well. Let's get going. All right, the intro, what just happened. So it starts off, as it starts there, then just a little slide down on the white keys. And it starts on the 6. It's a 6. So it is 6, 1, 3, 2, 1. So again, I'll repeat that. The single notes are 6, 6. 1 will be also a single note. Just octave, just playing octaves here. 3 is octave. Then on the 2, we actually play the 2 chord in its first inversion. And then you play the 1 chord in its first inversion as well. Then you will play an E diminished. Then you'll play a G diminished. Then lastly, you'll play the 6, which would be a F sharp minor. Then 1. And then you just kind of bouncing here. And I apologize. Some people are familiar with the number system. Some are familiar with notes. So let me backtrack a little bit. So again, we're in the key of A. A is your 1. Your 2 is going to be your B. It's going to be a minor. Your 1, 4, and 5 are your majors. Your 2, 3, and 6 are your minors, and your 7 is your diminished. So your 2 is your B minor. Your 3 is your C sharp minor. Your 4 is your D major. Your E is your E major. Sorry, your 5. I said your E. Your 5 is your E major. Your 6 is your F sharp minor. Your 7 is your G sharp or A flat diminished, and then again the 1. So that's what I was saying. So again, the 6, when I refer to 6, I'm referring to the F sharp minor. The 1, I'm referring to the A, the 2, the B, the 3, the C sharp, and so on and so forth. And then the end part of the intro, it goes, which is E diminished in its first inversion, then the G diminished in its first inversion, then F sharp minor or the 6, then again the E diminished, then the 6, and then the 1. So all together, very slowly, it would be without the music. Sorry, I played that wrong note on the last ones. That's what it is, really slowed down. And the following part of the song, what I did there as well, that little turnaround there, that's just the pentatonic scale. And your pentatonic scale is your 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. And a lot of gospel music that uses the pentatonic scale. And that turnaround, it does the 3, 5. The pentatonic scale starts from the 3 here. 3, 5, 6, 1. That's what it is. And then immediately it's to the 6. Kind of breaking up the chord. I'm playing a 6 dominant 7 or F sharp dominant 7 here. So I'm breaking up the chord. That's what I'm doing there on that first verse. So I'm gonna pick up from the verse. That was the first verse. So what happens here again, after the intro, we do that turnaround, that pentatonic fill, turnaround, whatever you want to call it. And directly go to the 6. And you can play it in different ways. I'm just deciding to bounce and break up the chords this way. And then it's the 6, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it's the 6 to the 4. And I just like to add a passing chord of the 5. And then that's why, and then a little walk up, bass walk up happens there. So walk up back to the 1. So it'll be a 4, 5, 6, 1. And then you go to the 1 to the 6, whatever, another passing happens, it's from the 1, and then the 7, the diminished. I like to do a half diminished 7 here. So it is the, just with my right hand, if I was playing in root position, this would be the diminished, the A flat, half diminished 7 chord. This is what it would look like. Playing it in its first inversion looks something like this. This is how I play it. So it's that's what happens there, and then to the 6, a passing chord. Promise you will keep it. Yes, I'm gonna. Just a walk down to D4. So it's on the 6. Then it's the F. Then the E. And so I have to preface F. It's an F major 7. Then an E. F dominant 7. My apologies. F dominant 7. E dominant 7. E flat minor dominant 7, then finally the D. So that second, so the whole first verse goes, I will play it without the music, just promises are God. And then the turnaround that we did in the intro happens again. Promise he would leave. And that happens again, then that. I'm gonna. Now when that second part of the verse happens, there'll be another turnaround that happens that I'll talk about here. I apologize for those mistakes there. I couldn't really hear the music, and that's what happened. So a turnaround happens before she goes to, I guess you can call it the bridge of the song. Promise to keep me. So after we do, everybody clap your hands. Excuse me. So I'll explain what that little transition that happened there. So it's going to be a 4 to 4 sharp, and then to the 5 diminished, then to the G diminished, which would be the 7 flat diminished. So walk down from the 6 to the 4, just walk down the scale, then the 3, C minor, the C sharp minor, then the 2 minor, 1, 6. So all in all, after it's that's what we got so far. You'll notice now, after I did the transition to fill it to go to the bridge, I changed the inversion of which I played the 6. I was playing it in its second inversion here, and I go to the first. I go to the first personally just because of the voicing, how it goes, the song. So she says, promise to keep me, promise to keep me, always be there. So the notes are higher up here. So I just like, it's nice to have, and the rule of thumb is always to keep the melody line highest. So that's why I changed the inversion to this, as well as for a fill that happens during the chorus, during this bridge here. Picking up from where we left off the transition. So from there, the progression is the same to the chorus. Promise to keep me, always be there. Promise never to leave. This transition right here that I was talking about. So that transition is, again, it starts with the 3. It starts with the 3. It's that first part transition is You can essentially say that's four parts. This first one here. So that is 3, 2, 1, 6. That's the first part. Then the next part is 3, 2, 1, 5. Then the next part, the third part is 1, 2, 1, 4. And then the last part is 1, sorry, I said 1, 7 flat 4. Sorry, 1, 7 flat 1, 4. And then lastly 1, 7 flat 1, 7 flat 1. Then a passing chord to the 6. So let's just start that again. Yeah, the transition is the fill is. That is the A major dominant 7, A dominant 7, excuse me, and then transition passing chord to the 6. Be by my side and be my God. That and then that happens the same type of progression. The 6, sorry, 6. Then the passing chord to the 4. And be my God. So on the 4 this time, I do add the dominant 7. I typically add it throughout the song, but add that dominant 7th in, and then the 3 is a 3 major, and add that dominant 7th in. Kind of play it like that. You could do an added 9 if you a C sharp 9 if you wanted to, but I just kind of just add the note in just for a split second, not actually make it part of the notes. Then she goes, before she gets back into the main chorus of the song, it is, I'm holding on to my promise, and I do a added 2. Then I do a B minor 7. Then I do a C added a C9. I typically don't think of the name of the chords when I play, so it's hard for me to name them. And correct me if I'm naming them wrong. This is what their names are. Look to me per the notes that I'm adding into the chords. So I start off with this right here. I'm holding on to my promise. I won't let it go. I want to tell everybody. And it's a God keeps his promise. God keeps his promises. I'm gonna. Then she gets into the vamp. Let's listen to what that's like. Apologies on that. that last part, that walk up back to the one. So that what it's actually supposed to sound out is this. Let's play that again. So let's talk about that vamp when they get into that. Promise it, I'm gonna. Then she gets in. And what I'm doing here is just playing along with the melody. That's what I'm playing with here. That's what I'm playing with here. The 1 and the 4. That's just a 6, 5, 5, 6. And then they do a little fill in there. So it's a. And again, using this inversion to keep the melody line up on the top. So we do the and then back to God keeps his promises. It's that is a 6. The G diminished have been doing a lot. The A flat diminished, half diminished 7, and then finally the 1. So we do this, so it's. Towards the end of the song, where she starts naming off different promises, it's just playing with the 1 and the 4. It's a that's a promise, 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 and then there's a transition there. Promise, that's a promise, that's a promise, that's a promise, and all that transition there is a chromatic walk down to the 4, from the 1 to the 4. And lastly, towards the end of the song, another transition where she's just singing, that's a promise, that's a promise, that's a promise, that's a promise. Another transition happens from the 1 to the 1. I believe this is the harmonic scale. You'll hear it very faintly, really in the background. The instruments are doing that. Sorry, excuse me. And what that is, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. That's that harmonic. Excuse me, not harmonic. That's the hexatonic scale. I said harmonic scale. Excuse me for that. That is the hexatonic scale that is played at the end there. That's a promise. That's a promise. That's a promise. That's a promise. Okay, add those fills in there. Just playing with the 5/6 pentatonic scale. For the sake of time, I didn't, just wanted to keep it pretty straightforward, give you a good foundation, and I hope this was helpful. Please send any questions, concerns, comments, any suggestions to make this video better. If y'all like this type of content, want more tutorials, please let us know. If you want to request a particular song for us to do a cover, let us know. If you'd like to collab for a project you have, for an event that you have, for the honor and glory of our Lord Jesus Christ, let us know. We'll have our ears open, and we'd love to work with you as well. Hopefully this video was helpful, and I appreciate all the support of our current subscribers and those in the future as well. Thank you. Have yourselves a blessed day.